You sent a text 2 hours ago. Just one line. Hey, are we still on for Saturday? No reply yet. And somewhere between minute 40 and minute 90, your brain quietly filed a missing persons report on the friendship. Did I say something weird? Did I use too many exclamation points? Did I use too few? Are they mad? Are they dead? Should I text again? Should I never text again? Should I move to a different city and start over under a new name? You haven't done anything. You've just been sitting there, thinking. Except thinking is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence because this isn't thinking. This is a full-blown investigation with no evidence, no suspects, and a jury of one very tired brain. Here's the thing nobody tells you about overthinking. It's not one personality trait. It's a whole ecosystem. Different overthinkers spiral in completely different ways. And today we're mapping out every single one of them, so by the end, you'll know exactly which one lives in your head. Let's meet the cast. 7 types, all fully qualified to ruin a quiet evening. First up, the rewind reel. This person doesn't just remember conversations. They replay them on loop in HD. With director's commentary, you said something slightly awkward at a party 3 years ago, and the rewind reel is still watching the footage tonight at 11 p.m., lying in the dark, cringing at a volume only they can hear. Picture this. Someone's at work, minding their business, making coffee. And out of nowhere, bam, a memory surfaces. Something they said in a meeting. In 2019, unprompted, uninvited. And suddenly they're wincing at the coffee machine like it personally betrayed them. Their coworker asks if they're okay. They say fine, which is a lie, because internally they've just been sentenced to relive a sentence they mumbled 6 years ago. The rewind reel doesn't need new content. They're just re-releasing the classics forever with no plans to ever retire the franchise. Next, the worst-case architect. This one doesn't wait for bad news. They build it from scratch, brick by brick, with impressive structural integrity. A partner is 15 minutes late, not stuck in traffic, obviously in a ditch somewhere, or worse, having second thoughts about the entire relationship. Here's a familiar scene. A group chat goes quiet for a few hours. Totally normal, everyone's just busy. But the worst-case architect is already drafting the "did I do something wrong" message, mentally rehearsing an apology for a crime that hasn't happened yet, complete with 3 different tones depending on how guilty they decide to sound. Give this person one blank text bubble, and they'll build you an entire tragedy with a 3-act structure and a tragic ending they haven't even confirmed yet. Then there's the silent text analyzer. This person reads a reply like it's a legal document, 1 period at the end of a sentence. That's not punctuation, that's a threat. Okay, with a period means war. Okay, with no punctuation means peace. Probably? Maybe? They're not sure. Better analyze it again. Think about the group project chat where someone responds, "sounds good," and everyone moves on, except one person who's now studying the timestamp, the punctuation, and the exact shade of enthusiasm in 2 words for the next 40 minutes. They'll screenshot it, send it to a friend. Ask, "Does this look mad to you?" The friend says no. They don't believe the friend. Somewhere out there is a linguistics degree going completely to waste, dedicated entirely to decoding whether lol meant funny or furious. Number 4, the pre-apologizer. This person apologizes before the sentence even starts. Sorry, this is probably a dumb question, but it's never a dumb question. They just needed to duck before anyone could throw something. Picture a work meeting. Someone has a genuinely good idea, but it comes out as, "Sorry, I don't know if this makes sense, and feel free to ignore this," but maybe, by the time they finish apologizing, the meeting's moved on to a different topic entirely, and the good idea dies quietly in a puddle of unnecessary sorries. They're not asking for permission to speak, they're asking for permission to exist in the room, and somehow that permission never quite arrives. And here's where it gets interesting, because all 4 of these types, they're not actually about the situation in front of them. Not the late text, not the quiet group chat, not the period at the end of a sentence. They're about control. Overthinking isn't a flaw in the thinking, it's an attempt to predict a world that refuses to be predicted. The brain isn't broken. It's just working overtime on a problem that was never solvable in the first place. Which brings us to type 5, the backup planner. This person has a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D that involves faking a mild illness. Spontaneity isn't fun for them. It's a threat level. Say a friend suggests a last-minute weekend trip. Sounds fun, right? Not for the backup planner who's already calculating contingency routes, alternate hotels, and an exit strategy in case the whole thing goes wrong, whatever that means exactly. Because nothing has actually gone wrong yet. It's just possible. And possible is enough for this person. The scariest sentence in the English language isn't "we need to talk," it's "let's just wing it." Sixth, the 3 a.m. philosopher. Daytime, this person is completely fine. Functional, normal. Then midnight hits, the lights go off, and suddenly they're deep in an existential seminar about a text message from Tuesday, a career decision from 3 years ago, and whether they were rude to a barista in 2016. It's the classic scene, lying in bed, phone face down, staring at the ceiling, and somehow ending up thinking about the meaning of life because of one Slack message that said, "Let's sync tomorrow." 20 minutes later, they're questioning their entire career path. 40 minutes later, gravity itself feels suspicious. Nothing gets solved at 3 a.m., nothing has ever gotten solved at 3 a.m., and yet every overthinker keeps showing up for the meeting, notebook in hand, ready to solve the unsolvable in the dark. Seventh, and this one's sneaky, the silent rehearser. This person practices conversations that haven't happened yet. Out loud, in the shower, in the car, a confrontation that exists purely in their imagination, complete with a script, a rebuttal, and a devastating comeback that will statistically never get used. Picture someone getting ready for a totally normal coffee catch-up. Somewhere between brushing their teeth and picking an outfit, they've mentally rehearsed, defending a decision nobody has actually challenged. They walk in ready for battle. The friend just wanted to talk about a new show they're watching. The silent rehearser has won 1,000 arguments. 0 of them have happened. So 7 types: rewinder, architect, analyzer, apologizer, planner, philosopher, rehearser. Chances are you just saw yourself in at least 2 of them, maybe 3. That's fine. Nobody's just one flavor of overthinking. Most people are a combo meal, switching types depending on the day, the deadline, or how much coffee they've had. Here's the part that actually matters, though. Overthinking feels productive. It feels like you're solving something, but replaying a conversation for the 40th time doesn't change what happened. Building the worst-case scenario doesn't prevent it. Analyzing a period at the end of a text doesn't reveal hidden meaning. It just steals your evening. And rehearsing an argument that never happens doesn't make you ready. It just makes you tired before anything's even started. The brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you using the only tool it has, which is thinking harder. The problem is, some situations don't need more thinking. They just need time. Or a follow-up text. Or honestly, some sleep. Think about it this way. Overthinking is your brain trying to run a background check on a future that hasn't been written yet. It pulls old files, cross-references every awkward moment you've ever had, and presents you with a report nobody asked for. And the wildest part? Most of the time, the case resolves itself. The friend texts back. The late partner walks through the door, completely fine, just stuck behind a slow bus. The period at the end of the text meant nothing at all. So, which one's you? Are you the rewind reel, still replaying 2019? The silent analyzer currently studying a text you got 20 minutes ago? Maybe you're the rehearser, mentally prepping for a conversation that's just going to be about brunch. Or maybe you're a little bit of all 7, rotating through the lineup depending on the day. Drop your type in the comments, tag the friend who's clearly the backup planner. And if this hit a little too close to home, you already know what to do. Like it, subscribe, and let's spiral together next time, when we break down every type of people pleaser and why saying no feels like a war crime.